Hey guys, it's Carrie the Paper Monkey. My friend Janie at the Crafting Bookworm asked me to join this collab, and it's hashtag my journal journey. So I'm going to answer these questions and tell you kind of how I got to junk journaling. When did you start making journals? So I started making journals around October of 22. Did someone inspire you to start making journals? And if so, who? I will tell you that at that point in my life, I had some free time and I started watching YouTube for entertainment. I had watched YouTube videos before, but they were really more for how-tos and how to like office things, like how to create or do a particular Excel formula, or how to, make a table of contents page in Word, things like that. It was more instructional type videos that I had gone out to find on YouTube. It was not really, I'd never really watched YouTube for entertainment value. This is not something I did. Well, in October, I had some free time during my personal time. Like my weekends were structured a little differently than they typically were. So I said, well, let me go to YouTube and I just opened it up and I remember Crafty Girl popping up on my feed. And I was drawn to her because she did Dollar Tree hauls. And I love the Dollar Tree. Always did. And so I started watching Marie, Crafty Girl, and her Dollar Tree hauls. And I really, I enjoyed it. So, go down that rabbit hole of Dollar Tree hauls and stuff. But I remember Crafty Girl talking about Rebecca Hoot and junk journaling. And she talked about it so often and with such inspiration and inflection in her voice and her tone that it intrigued me. And I said, I got to go, who's this Rebecca Hoot person? Let me go see what she does. Because I'd never heard of junk journaling. And I had never been a crafter. Not even like a scrapbooker. I had tried different things in my life. And I never felt like I had artistic leanings, ever. I couldn't even draw stick people. Seriously, I felt like anything artistic I did was bad. Like really, truly, even in school, when we had art in school, I just never felt like I was any good at it. And I have the kind of personality that if I touch something, it has to be very good. It has to go. So that's just who I am, so I never really kept trying to do anything artistic. So I go and I find Rebecca Hoot's channel on YouTube. And did this open up the floodgates, y'all? If you don't know who Rebecca Hoot is, I'll link her channel so you can go check her out. But Rebecca Hoot does a style of junk journaling that is done with composition notebooks. I'll show you mine. This is the very first journal that I ever put together. I don't know why my camera's not being cooperative, so I apologize. Anyway, you kind of get the idea. This was a composition notebook. Okay. So I went to the Dollar Tree and got a composition notebook, and I got some scrapbook paper, and I did what Rebecca Hoot does. Because it was cool. And it is cool. It is cool. But I continued to watch YouTube. And I, found Gail Augustinelli and Tina at Shabby Dabby Doodah and Carrie the Crafter and Miss E and Melina and all the creators who have, 50,000 plus followers. Right? Because that's what pops up. Like when you start watching, whatever you start watching on YouTube, your feed then becomes inundated with your likes. And so, because I was liking Rebecca's channel, these other videos were suggested to me. But then I just continued to go down and I found people who didn't have 50,000 followers. And I really and truly started gravitating more to their videos because I wanted to see people who were like me, who weren't as experienced. Not that those other creators aren't wonderful. I still watch them today. I do. I still watch all the big names too. It's not about that. I wanted to know that someone more relatable to me was doing it because I wanted to make sure that I could do it too. And I did. And so while that composition notebook that I showed you was my first junk journal, really what I consider my first ever junk journal is this one, because it's a little golden book, and that's what not that, and see, I don't want this to sound bad because I love Rebecca. I love all her stuff, but like to alter an actual book and create from book pages was like amazing to me. Like I was like, oh my God, like you can make a little golden book with all its cute illustrations. You can add different pages to that. You can make like note cards and tags, and you can make flashcards into something else, and you could do tucks and pockets and what? I was absolutely like, I had to go do it. I had to go do that. A belly band. I was like, what's a belly band? Yeah. Still with Dollar Tree items, books bought at the Goodwill, which I had always been a thrifter. So thrifting wasn't new to me. I knew I was very familiar, and I love thrifting. So I was like, oh my God, it was so inspiring to me. And it opened up an artistic side of me that I did not know that I had. And I'll tell you, one of the things that happened for me was because I went out and I found and watched other creators who did not have 50,000 followers. But those creators interacted with me in a way that was so encouraging of my efforts. Like I just remember one time, the very first time, I think that Angela the Traveling Crafter commented on something that I said. Like I made a comment on one of her videos, and she came back and she said, but you are an artist. Everyone is artistic. Everyone is an artist. And I remember looking at that comment and thinking to myself, oh my God, this is a lady who is obviously artistic, is obviously very talented, and she's encouraging me after, I made this. I just remember being just so encouraged by that. Carla Frizzell was a person that was exactly like that. Just so encouraging of my minimal efforts of getting into the craft. There was no jealousy. It was just so accepting. I just remember that this can't be. Really and truly. And now, here I am over a year later, still creating and still developing and still learning, Do you use what is your junk journal style? So here we are, like I said, over a year later. I don't know exactly what my junk journal style is, but I will tell you that I do gravitate towards whimsical. I do. That is a style that I like. I love little golden books. collect them and have a number of them. But the whimsical kind of, all the non-matchy, cute, kind of patchwork, not perfect, frayed edges. I'm really enjoying that now. But I will say this, recently, again, I'll go back to my friend Angela. My friend Angela did a collab, and it was called #GiveAScrap. And in that collab, we had to, just choose a craft where we were using our scraps. And so I created this. Now, this journal is made with nothing but things that were going in the trash, literally. And this was one of the funnest things that I have created so far, because there was no rhyme or reason. There was no, not that I didn't think about it or put thought into it, but it wasn't like, oh, this needs a ruffle and let me match this color. Cause not that it's matchy, but you know what I'm saying? Like it's different. It was just different because it was all trash. All of it. I mean, I think the most thought that might have went into this was I changed the color thread in the machine to do that stitching, because everything else had black. And I remember, oh, let me change it to red. That'll really pop on the page. So this, while it's not cutesy, and there was no theme like children's illustration or a food theme or anything, it was just trash. All of it was trash. And to make trash turn into something of value. Now, does it have a monetary value? No. But what I mean by that is it's value to me. Because now this is my art journal. Now, over a year ago, if you would have told me that I was going to have an art journal, oh, no, no way. No flipping way would I have ever thought in a million years that I would have an art journal. Just, again, I'll never consider myself artistic. So in a year's time, you know how little time that is to go from I didn't think I could draw stick people to having an art journal. That is evolution in a way that I never thought that I would experience. And I continue to have those experiences with almost every journal that I make. That's what's so cool about this journey, So I would encourage you, if you are out there and you're watching this and you don't junk journal and you don't, do crafts and you don't feel like you're artistic, I think this is the perfect craft to get into for that reason. Because I am living proof that you can go from not feeling like you are artistic to feeling like an artist. Yeah. Now, I'm no Van Gogh, but you know what I mean? Like, I feel like my creations speak to me. And that's the difference. They only have to speak to me. Now, others have been very encouraging, and I love that about this community too. But what I'm saying is I now can look at what I create and think, oh, wow. Where before I didn't do that. The few crafts that I've tried along the way, I never did that. I didn't like what I created. But I am learning. I mean, it's not even that I'm learning. I do like what I create now. So it's just a journey that I never thought I would take, and it's been wonderful. How long does it take you to make a journal? Depends. It depends. Like my little art journal, it took all in all, this art journal probably took a couple of days. probably a couple of days, Now, if it's like this journal, this little We Like Kindergarten journal, this is a custom order. So that is taking longer, and it's taken probably right now, I probably have a solid week invested in that, pulling pages and just curating items can sometimes take a long time depending on what you're creating. If I was just creating that for me, maybe not so much, but this one is very special because it is a custom order for someone, and I want to take my time with it. So there is that. What is the first thing you do when starting a journal? So the first thing that I do is usually the cover. Yeah. Usually it's going to be the cover that I do. That's, whether I'm going to do a ring bound or I'm going to do a sewn in spine, because those things have to be determined. So that's where I start. What style cover do you prefer? I prefer a hardcover. I do. This art journal is probably the first soft cover that I ever did, and it's only because it's a paper bag, right? I've always done the hardback journals. I've always done the hardback journals, because it's always been a book that I've altered. So, yeah, I've always done that. If you make a soft cover journal, what materials do you use? So I will tell you, because I know that the question is, what materials do you use if you make one? I have not made one, but I do have 2 quilted covers that were gifted to me in Happy Mail that I have set aside. And my intention is to use those to make my first official soft cover journals. So it would be, if I make those, that's what I gravitate towards, are those quilted look of soft cover journals. Yeah, I like those a lot. Do you use ephemera that you get in a kit, or do you prefer to make your own? I incorporate both usually, because there are, and when you say kit, I mean, like, I have some Tim Holtz ephemera, the little field notes and things like that I'll use at times. Sometimes I won't, I will use like a fussy cut. Again, going back to the children's illustrations, I fussy cut a lot of children's illustrations, and I'll, put a doily and book page as a background, and then the little illustration becomes the focal point. So I lean more towards making my own, but there are times whenever I do use things from a kit. Do you enjoy participating in prompt-inspired projects? So I can't say no, but what I can say is I'm very particular about the extras that I do, whether it's somebody asked me to do a collab, or, there's I don't do the Marguerite Miller challenges. Now I watch them. I think I loved watching other people do it. I just, here's the deal. My job gets in the way of my crafting career. So I know that I love to, and I kind of always been like this. I've always kind of been a personality who likes to do things by themselves. Like I'm not typically a group activity type person. Not for the most part. I've always kind of been a loner. Hopefully not in a bad way, but I just have kind of always, it's my personality. So I like those prompt type things where you're following, all that, and it's done, every month, or I think Marguerite Miller's is every Wednesday or whatever it is. I just don't, it's not something that I get a lot of gratification from. It's not that I won't ever do it. I mean, maybe if I had more time, then yes, I would probably do it. But right now, no, I don't typically do things like that. How many journals have you made so far? I probably have made over 20. I've probably made over 20 so far. And it's been a lot of fun. I'll tell you, this is what I say a lot. This was the fun that I needed in my life. I've really enjoyed it a lot. What do you enjoy the most about making journals? Okay. The funnest part about making a journal to me is watching the pages come to life. Because they do. The pages to me, whenever I add a pocket or a fabric cluster or a page ruffle or an embellishment, they literally change and come to life. That's how I look at it. That's how I see them. So that is the most, that's what I love the most. I do. That's the most fun to me. Hopefully this was not too painful for you guys. And Janie, thank you so much for asking me to participate. I really appreciate this. And guys, again, if you don't know who Janie at the Crafting Bookworm is, please, I would encourage you to go check out her channel. Janie has taken her love of reading and her love of crafting, and she's combined the two, and that's the premise behind her channel. So she does book reviews and crafting, and it's just, I love to watch her channel. Janie is a very uplifting personality, so, and I enjoy watching her. So again, guys, Janie at the Crafting Bookworm, and this hashtag is my journal journey. Thank you so much for being here and for spending this time with me. I really do appreciate it. And remember what I always say, remember, whatever it is you get to do today or in the next few days, I hope it is as much fun as I have had participating in this hashtag. Thanks, guys. We'll chat soon. Bye.